Leoha. Today, we're going to be talking about aphantasia. You guys know I like to start all my streams with disclaimers. Yay, everyone's favorite time. It's disclaimer time. The disclaimer is that I am not a medical professional by any means whatsoever. I have not done any sort of professional research on the subject. So we're gonna start with the question that some of you guys may have, which is, what is aphantasia? Aphantasia is the inability to create mental imagery. The phenomenon was first described by Francis Galton in All right, chat, close your eyes and imagine an apple. Okay, now open your eyes. Which one do you see on this scale? Do you see it like pretty 3D? Or maybe you see it just in color, but generally pretty flat? Or maybe you see it in black and white? Or maybe you even just see it as an outline? Or maybe you see nothing at all? If you said 1, you are on the closer to the hyperphantasia scale. If you are at 5, welcome to the club, you have aphantasia. Someone said they ate the apple. Some people can feel the apple. Some people can taste it. Some people can smell it. Everyone has like a different scale and spectrum of aphantasia. You can think about our brains as a computer. So, you know, if you have a computer, you have a desktop and you have a monitor, and the desktop holds all the information that you know. Basically, if you have aphantasia, it's just the PC. There's no monitor. The information is there, but we just don't have a monitor to show or display the information. People with aphantasia, for example, can't daydream. I have never daydreamed in my life. I thought daydreaming was like letting your mind just wander, not like you're actually seeing things in your brain. People who don't have aphantasia, you guys basically have a superpower that we don't have. For me, it's like y'all have like a freaking VR headset or something. You guys can hyperimpose shit. You guys can map shit in your brains. You guys can look at stuff whenever you want. Like, that's insane to me. Probably the question that everybody here has a burning question for. What is it like to have aphantasia? So I have a couple questions that I'm going to answer in regards to this. The first question is, how did you realize you had aphantasia? So the way I realized I had aphantasia was I saw one of those viral tweets. It was like a Facebook post about this guy saying that he had aphantasia. And then I read the article and I was like, oh shit. And then I had a mental breakdown, 2-week mental breakdown of, oh my God, I have this thing that has hindered me for my entire life and I had no idea. The second question I have here is, do you have an internal monologue? Sion, for example, has a very intense internal monologue and she has aphantasia. I do not have an internal monologue, so my experience with aphantasia is probably going to be very different than Sion's. How do you think with no sights or sounds? What is thought like? Thought is just thought. How does it affect you when you're trying to predict an opponent in a card game? It affects me a lot, actually. I have to kind of base a lot of my card game stuff on logic or memorization, like rote memorization. I don't know about other people. For me, I can see things or imagine when in trance oh my God, wait, I'm the same. I was actually going to mention this, but I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. The only time that I can visualize is right before I'm about to fall asleep. I always have a moment where I'm like, holy shit, is this what it's like for other people? And then I fall asleep. Holy shit, is this... Do you remember faces? I do remember faces. I have a harder time, I think, than most people with remembering faces, but I can't bring up a face in my mind. I know what people look like, and if I see them, I can recognize them, but I can't bring up their faces in my mind. When you hear your voice in recordings, do you hate it or feel indifferent? I hate it. You bring up an interesting question. What I hear in my head is just when I speak, but perhaps you guys give yourselves a different voice in your internal monologue, and that internal monologue voice is different than what you imagine your actual voice to be. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. It actually felt like a TED Talk. I hope it was fun. I know it was a lot of like educational stuff, but I know that's not really everyone's cup of tea. Anyway, we're gonna end the stream here. I hope you guys had a good time. Liotsu, and talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.